welcome to Command Center, your video game book club podcast. My name is Daniel, and with me, as always, is...
I'm Nathaniel Land, owner of OnePlus fully functioning kidneys.
And
my name is Bow Wow 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 Wow.
Oh, God.
Oh, he went to the pause menu again.
Oh, no.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I thought you
Jay.
were talking about the sonogram. I'm not, that is not, that'll be the year anniversary episode. I'll tell that story. That's not happening.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just a weird joke, but apparently something's going on.
You know the story.
Irrelevant.
The amazing blood flow.
Oh. Okay, well,
Yeah.
That was also the pause menu. That was a really good pause menu, too. Like, you'd be in, like, a quiet area and pause the game, and it was like...
Wait.
techno
You guys
blasting.
played a video game lately?
I mean, no. I don't play video games. I play computer games.
Oh.
Video games are for console trolls.
Console peasants.
Wait, didn't I play our first game on a console?
Damn it.
Of your own volition.
I gave my peasant heritage away.
So, we played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
1.
1, that's right. 2 just got announced. It's coming out in 2020, actually, so it didn't just get announced.
Wait. Okay, so having again done no research, it's my bit.
Yeah, well.
I thought that it was announced and then all the stuff happened with Troika and that it was never going to come out. No, it's like
Oh,
somebody's picking
no.
it
We're
up.
talking about 2.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Troika's gone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Troika's just for those who didn't do research, Troika was the game studio that made Bloodlines.
I knew Troika was gone, but I meant like I thought it got announced and then Troika disseminated like, hey, we'll do another one.
Troika disintegrated in 2005.
Yeah. I thought the announcement was way back in the day. I didn't know it was a recent
The
announcement.
first I heard of it was at this most recent E3.
Okay, true.
Yeah, they
Oh,
even
yeah.
showed gameplay and
Oh,
stuff.
okay, true.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if that was when it was officially announced. That's just the first I heard of it. But yeah, initial reactions. What did you guys think?
For very initial reaction, setting up the character, I really like any game that has a D&D style or absolutely D&D canon character sheet. Like, I loved the abilities and how you had to set up, you had to choose what you wanted to do with your character. The game had other ideas about what I wanted to do, but that's the nature of a game.
Well, you know that the reason it has that quote-unquote D&D style is because this is based off of a D&D-ish style
Oh, true.
world.
Is it?
So it's based off of what's called the World of Darkness, which is a tabletop D&D
Cool.
style game. So there's been several adaptations of it. It's still going now. They just released like edition 15 or something like that. But that's what the games were based off of. They were trying to make a computer version of that.
It really came through. I liked it, like to the point that there were definitely several hour spans where I'd forget to assign my points. Couldn't figure out why basic mobs were owning me. And it's like, oh, because I got 38 points waiting to be assigned.
Yeah, there was no indication really that
Yeah.
you had points available.
It said,
I remember you had to ask me like several times.
yeah, like, hey, how do you level up?
Yeah. I was
tells
like,
you-
yeah, exactly. It tells you offhandedly, but like,
what do they call them? They're skill points.
Yeah, skill points, I
think
think.
it's called
Skill
skill points.
Ability
yeah.
points? I don't know.
Yeah, but like it tells you when you kill stuff. Like it pops up at the top of the screen, and there's some that are even in conversation, which is awesome. But there's like I think I had to call you, or no, we were in the airport, and I was like, how do I bring up my character sheet? And you're like, C or whatever.
Yeah, see,
C,
like the same it
yeah.
is in every game.
I mean, C sometimes is strafe
nah.
right
Yeah,
and back a
crouch.
lot. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, Jay, what do you think?
Right off the bat, I loved the game.
Ah, I see what you did there. But like
Did you
like a
nip
flying bat.
Did
not
you
like
nip
a
it in the
baseball.
butt? Oh, different reference. My bad. Sorry. Go ahead.
Anyways, it gave me a very like Elder Scrolls vibe.
Really?
Yeah, it was like an Elder Scrolls game meets a like any of the BioWare games, obviously, with the choices and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just really excited to play it, and I really enjoyed it through and through. I really liked. I didn't end up picking the choice that it gave me, but I really liked how it set up this like questionnaire.
You're talking about when the questionnaire at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like that was really
Yeah,
cool.
that-
It gave me Nosferatu, and I was like, well, that seems difficult. I'm gonna go with
That old school character selection where it's like, here, you just answer these. Like, you don't see that at all.
Yeah,
nowadays,
exactly.
Where it's like completely, you're trying to say like, who are you or who do you want to be in this game, and it asks you a series of 10 questions?
It was longer. Mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
I didn't do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure that maybe it's what's that called when you ask a question and the answer dictates if there's further questions in that field.
Probably, yeah,
like an adaptive questionnaire.
Right.
But yeah, like every option had, I get a gun and I kill everyone in the room, or I kill everyone with a hatchet, or I talk it out, or I sneak around the room. And it was, they were obvious, but they weren't super obvious. Some of them you've seen are really obvious. That one,
There were a bunch of strange questions. Yeah.
I clicked everything that involved a gun, and it did give me gun points.
So, did you end up using the clan that it suggested for you?
I used the clan. Tremere was.
Yeah, I think
No, that's Tremere's the magic user.
You were Toreador.
Toreador, yeah. And I used the clan.
Which one was that one?
The affluent and the artists, not the like bankers and businessmen clan, but the ones that are like the tortured artists. They don't put a ton of emphasis on wealth.
Oh, yeah.
I tweaked the character a little bit because it had me like 4 points in firearms and no ability in hand-to-hand combat. I was like, the game's gonna be a while till I get a gun, so I wanted to keep some melee ability, which worked out.
Yeah, so I got really into the game, and I got really into the storytelling and the lore behind it. It's an excellently written game.
Yeah.
The narrative, the story, and all that it really pulled me in. And so I started reading a book series, because they have tons of books that are set in this world.
Reading or listening?
Reading. Not an audiobook this time. They didn't have an audiobook, otherwise I would. But
I can't imagine why a book series based off a video game that didn't do well at market doesn't have an audiobook.
Well, the books are based off of the greater universe.
Okay, all right. True.
Yeah, the board, not board game, but tabletop. But this whole book series, I think there's 13 of them, and each one is about they're narrative, but they're about a different clan. And the first one is about Toreador, the one that you're doing.
Oh yeah.
And like the whole book sets it up to where that clan is kind of the vampires that are still the closest to their humanity, and they usually are like the artists and everything, like you said, and they're the tortured souls and what have you. But they're the ones that are supposed to be the most still connected to the human world, or what have you. Jay, you were.
I was the blood magic ones, the Tremere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made my like background affiliate for magic just to help me out. But then that made it so that I didn't level up as fast, but I was able to dominate and use my magic way like more.
We should reiterate here that we did play a patched version. We played this game got released unfinished, basically. A lot of broken stuff, so people have been patching it and fixing it for the last 10 years or so.
They're still not done.
Yeah, they're still going, but we used the fan patch, which added a lot of features, and I think Jason was just talking about the background thing, so you got to choose what your background was, which wasn't in the original
that's right.
game.
That was an added feature. I forgot about that.
The unofficial patches were made to fill out the game because it was forced into release because the developer was taking so long and the publisher forced it into release. The only interesting thing I found on Wikipedia is that first one was made by Dan Upright, who was part of the dev team. He was trying to fix it, I believe. I might be wrong about that. But on Wikipedia, analytical chemist Werner Spall continued patching the game from version 1.2 with permissions and instructions from the developers. Just an analytical chemist.
I'm sure it's just like what he does, but I'm sure he was a gamer.
I hope. The fact that I feel like, you find shit on Wikipedia that's wrong, I feel like that's part of it. Like, yeah, Werner Spall, we're making you a German bad guy. Analytical chemist Werner Spall.
To be fair, though, one thing I did see on there as well that I respected was after they were forced to release the game unfinished, a bunch of the dev team worked unpaid.
3 weeks unpaid. They had enough money to run the company for 3 weeks, but not to pay anybody. Yeah.
Also, I did want to add I don't know if you guys did the poster side quests at all.
I did a few of them. When they stopped giving me beautiful women in bikinis, I stopped doing them. When it started becoming pictures of dudes, I stopped.
What? I didn't get that.
What a queer.
I got a picture of Jeanette, and then a picture of Teresa, and a picture of the stripper vampire in Hollywood.
That's what I got.
But then I got a picture of a dude.
No, the next one was supposed to be the Asian lady. I got that one.
Oh, I didn't get that one. Yeah.
But then I was just gonna say that like I was gonna finish it. Then I was like, you know what? I don't care. I just need to finish this game. But then I just had the thought where I was like, the horny teenager in me probably would have fucking finished this just for those posters.
It gave you a 90s bedroom feel. I never had posters of naked women on my room wall, but every man I knew who's not in this room did.
Yeah.
Wait,
every male.
Did it put the posters
in your hand?
Yeah. So like I got Jeanette, and Jeanette is clearly not a CGI character. It's someone who was dressed up for a photo shoot to look like Jeanette.
Hers is the only one that was like actual
the rest of them are CGI,
person.
And it was, I was like, I found it and like was playing in the living room, and Kelly got up to go get some water, and I was like, I think I'm done for the night, and just shut my laptop because I was just staring at this poster.
So I looked this up. They actually got a model to model as Jeanette for like promotional shots and stuff like that, and like ads for the game and everything. And I'm betting that that's probably who they had.
Yeah.
In that poster. Damn, I didn't do any of those.
There's a lot in that game. It's definitely got replay value.
Yeah, definitely.
The magic, if I can side note before we get to Daniel, was it like I know like with the blood abilities with not having magic, they you only got like 8 to 6, depending on which ones you were using, uses before your blood vial was empty. Was the magic super expensive, or was it usable in combat? Like
it was usable in combat. It just depended on which ones I would use. So my favorite one that I got was Blood Boil, which basically, and the way I played it was, I pretty much did like you did, where I tweaked mine, where I was more of like, I was Tremere, but I played it more of like a Nosferatu, where I was like sneaking around, and like if there was a group of people, what I would do is like, let's say, they're, open the door, there's like 3 people. I'd put Blood Boil on one of them in the middle, and that basically makes them, the whole room, like, they explode.
Okay. True.
And that like, basically cleared the room for me, so I'm just walking through, and they couldn't see me at all.
Is it more like, to use Mass Effect and WoW, like, there's the casters in WoW, so not to use Mass Effect, because I don't remember the class names. There's the casters, like the priests and your warlocks, where I was constantly casting. And then there's, like, the shaman, where I would cast a few spells on my way in, jump into combat like melee or range.
Yeah, no, it's exactly. Basically, I would cast like 1 or 2 maybe, and then rest was firearms. I was,
It doesn't give you the ability.
No,
to, like,
no, because I would go through my blood because I'm using my own blood, and then basically I would have to.
Wait, you're using the blood vial on the right side, not your health.
Yeah. I was using the one on the right. Yeah, not my
your
actual
health. Yeah, but the
one on the
blood
right. Yeah,
because I know that. And I don't know if it was because my humanity was low, because I did several times walk up to vendors in public and attempt to barter with them by pressing E, and instead drank them alive. So I had pretty low humanity. It was like, oops, I'm drinking them.
No, so blood. Luckily, I didn't have a problem with going into frenzy because even though I would use a lot of my magic, my humanity was high. So I only went into frenzy like once or twice.
By the end of the game, I had, I think, 2 humanity left, and I was literally spending, like, running through the sewer trying to get out of an area, and just be frenzying for 5 or 6 of my 20-minute walk. And it was great, because when you're in frenzy, they'd always find the rats and drink the rats, which would get me out of frenzy, but...
See, now, I had a problem with that. I liked when I went into frenzy...
Your clan first.
I liked when I went into frenzy, because I would usually... It got me out of some bad situations. However, with that rat thing, I played as Ventru, and that was like the high class... Like
that's the banking clan, right? Sort of the main villain, or the main...
That's what LaCroix was.
Yeah.
One of the perks, I guess, of that class is you had to drink blood from blue bloods, is what they call them. So, like, well-off people. If you drink blood from rats or homeless people, there's like a 50-50 chance you throw up, you lose all the blood and
poisoning,
take damage. So whenever I frenzied and got the rats, that fucking sucked. But
I thought about, so, like, with the Ventru, because that's one thing I saw was, like, we were talking in the airport, 3 weeks ago when we were in Virginia, about just that, and it's like, I get the blue blood thing, like, that's an extra handicap on you, but at the same time, the homeless people, like, the rats have 1 notch of blood, the homeless people have like 2, and if you drink the second one, they fucking die, and so you lose humanity. So it wasn't, maybe you played it, but I feel like it wouldn't have been that big of a handicap, because if I was just feeding on homeless people in alleys, it would take me like 10 minutes to fill up. I'd have to find like 6 of them. It was much easier just to lure, honestly, a high-class prostitute into a corner and drink her. I was like, there you go.
I didn't have a problem in the first area in Santa Monica, because you could just go into the asylum, the club there, and people would just let you feed on them freely. It was
what?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh my god! I thought it was just a place
in
people
every
went,
club
like,
you could do that.
Oh.
So when I got to other areas, though, when they didn't have that, where they didn't have the NPCs you could just talk to and be like, hey baby, what's up, and then like fucking drink their blood.
The one you could talk to, you could feed on? That one next to the bar in every bar?
There were several that you could.
Yeah.
They always hit the
I mean, they all looked the same, just with different hair.
I thought it was just an experiment in hearing, giving bad pickup lines and hearing different responses. I talked every one of those speech lines out to hear what they had to say.
And you didn't bite any of them?
No.
Weird.
The only reason I went to the clubs were, A, to see what was going on with, what did they end up calling her? Jeanette? No. When they combined the 2 names, they had a special name for it.
I didn't combine them.
Yeah, but what's her?
I did, but I don't remember.
What's her? No, they didn't give it in the. Is in the Wikipedia. What was it? What was her sister? Jeanette and.
I don't remember.
Teresa, and it was Tanette when they combined the 2. At least the internet refers to him as that. But I'd only go in there to advance their storyline and then to get money in L.A. because I beat up or killed the Russian club owner, so you get his cut of the money. But I never once considered.
Yep. But and even then, though, like, say I'm in the sewers or I'm doing a dungeon or what have you, I can't drink any of the blood around there. I can only drink from so I have to bring blood packs or what have you with me. It was kind of a pain in the ass. And even then, there was regular blood packs and blue blood.
Yeah.
Blood packs.
You couldn't drink regular blood packs.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would then become an issue. Yeah.
Yeah. But I liked the powers I had, like, because I think inherently I could dominate, threaten, seduce, and all that, and I never had it fail on anybody. I think that was just part of the class as well, which that definitely helped out.
Yeah, I always go for games like this. I always go for like charisma.
Charisma.
I tried to do like a charisma, intimidate, and sneak, and my plan was charisma, intimidate, and sneak my way through everything, and then use guns. It did not work out. By the end of it, I was swinging a maul above my head, and the stealth kill with the big hammer. Did you ever do it?
No, I usually just snap necks.
So if you have the weapons equipped, like the katana, you jam it through their heart, and it for some reason.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I always thought you had to be barefisted. To...
No, you can kill with any weapon. They all have different ones.
But you guys could sneak attack?
Yeah, if you sneak up behind somebody, you can hit E and
it showed you
one
how to
hit kill
do
them.
the tutorial in the beginning.
I didn't do the tutorial.
Well, that's your problem.
There you go.
But so here's my thing.
Oops.
The sneak attack with the katana is awesome because you jump up behind them like you jump up behind them, grab their mouth, and break their neck when you're barehanded. With the katana, you shove it through their heart, and they go limp, and you drop them slowly to the floor. But every time you do it, it goes in like a mandolin or some Asian instrument. It's just like, that seems unnecessary.
Yeah,
but I'm
weird.
in Chinatown, so I'm putting them all away, even though it does more damage and only use that. I didn't sneak attack with the severed limb. That would have been a cool kill.
Yeah,
but with the
probably,
maul, your sneak attack is kind of ridiculous because if you have to get like a step behind somebody to sneak attack, and so it plays an animation of you now being 3 steps behind them, taking the maul over your head and getting 2 full rotational swings to clock them in the side of the head and knock their body about 20 feet. Which is not stealthy at all. But you'd like do that, and the guard next to them wouldn't see the body go whoo down the hallway and just be like, I guess everything's fine.
To be fair, they never saw you.
It's stealth to that guy, but everybody else should be like, there's a corpse whizzing down a hallway.
So at the end, I don't know, it definitely didn't happen in the beginning, but at the end when I was starting to sneak attack people, it was making like a metal or an anvil noise at the end. Like every
With
time
your
I would snap their
hands?
neck and they would fall, it would go bonk.
So clearly not all the glitches and bugs.
Yeah.
Oh my god! All right, should we start on glitches and bugs?
You
'Cause
say whatever the hell you want.
Glitches. So I went pretty heavily intimidate and charisma, which worked for Santa Monica and part of LA because I threw more into. I didn't throw it into charisma. I threw it into intimidate. But after that, I couldn't intimidate or charis anyone.
You're not a very intimidating guy.
Yeah, there you go. But I put a lot into sneak and then guns. And by the end of it, I had poured so many points into melee combat, like, I just couldn't keep up. But the guns were heavily glitched. Like, I thought it was just a revolver.
Really?
Yeah. Especially with the boss fights, I'd almost always try to find some cover to hide behind. But if you're just sitting there pulling the trigger, with the revolver, it would fire like 2 or 3 shots, then clicking would do nothing, and it would just sit idle and let you click.
That never happened to me.
That happened to me with every weapon.
I didn't have any problems with the guns. The only problems I had with the guns is after a quick save. If I had a gun out, maybe 1 time out of 5, it would stop saving, and I'd come back in just firing full blast.
Yeah, every time I loaded the game, I would attack, which was great when I like saved next to a character, and then like every time I loaded, it would just claw him in the face. But the guns, and so then I got all the different pistols. And some of them, the automatic weapons weren't so bad, but no matter what you did, for me anyway, and maybe I downloaded a different patch because I just Googled it. I didn't click the link.
I sent you a link.
Yeah, and I couldn't find it, so then I Googled it because remember I got the new computer halfway through.
I just literally saw it a minute ago on Discord. It's still there.
Yeah, I hadn't had Discord downloaded yet on the new computer.
You're a failure.
Fear not, adoring fans. There's still a hot Dell on my hot lap. But so no, with all of the guns, the pistols, everything. It would glitch up, and I'd just have to wait. And like crouching and uncrouching would often get me 1 more shot. Then it would lock again. So I'd have 7 rounds left, and it wouldn't work. So I'd just reload. What the fuck was that? Crouching and uncrouching. I see now. Okay.
I was just
Being
crouching and
animated in front of. Oh
uncrouching.
no, I saw it with just your head in front of a mic and a chair. That was awesome. Looked like you were headbanging like a WoW character, and then Jason just burst into a smile.
Well, I didn't think that you were going to say anything.
Well, now you know.
Oh, man. Well, the final battle. I know I'm like skipping around here, but I really wanted to talk to you guys about it.
Yeah, I'd love to see you guys' opinions because I cheated my ass through the end of the game.
Okay, so just let me get that out here.
Yeah.
I know that Nate and myself had to use God mode through the console commands for. I had to use it for I think 2 or 3 parts, just in the interest of getting the game done. Because I'm sure, as you guys know, we're a little late with this one.
I had fully given up on the game because of that gun glitch. Like, my main weapon, all I could do was maul these gigantic things to death. So I was like, I'm done. Let me Google the story, and that's when I found out about the console commands. I was like, all right, now I'll go finish it.
So I had to use the God mode on the final battle, but it wasn't where I thought it was going to be. So when you walk into that main hall and the sheriff is standing there, and you know the whole game you have to fight this guy.
Yeah.
The first phase of that battle, he didn't do a single ounce of damage to
when
me.
he's still on the ground before you knock him out of the window or whatever.
I had no problem with it whatsoever.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it.
I used that fire damage shotgun on him.
Yeah. I didn't buy the fire damage, but even with God mode on, after the first couple of hits, I was like, let me see if I can avoid him. And he was super easy. You just had to strafe because he always appeared behind you and charged straight at you. So you just strafe.
So what I did was I would just go up and down the steps
because
he would just jump back and forth between.
When you were all right, every boss had a glitch or two, and like before I put on God mode, I would find all the glitches. But yeah, you could if you got like 2/3 of the way up the steps, he would glitch to the top of the steps. Not glitch, but
he would just keep jumping. He would just jump and try to like stomp you, and then he would just jump back to the previous spot when you go back down the steps.
Yeah,
so you could just shoot him when he just goes back down.
There was a point on the steps where I was standing, granted I had God mode on, where he was literally just jumping up and down or using his teleport up and down to the top of the steps to the bottom of the steps and never coming near me on the steps. And I was just like, all right, pop, with shooting him with a shotgun.
So I had the Desert Eagle. Man, that
thing kicks. Yeah,
so
I used that right at the end.
I had expended all of my ammo and money before that, and I had no way to get any more, so the only gun I had, after I used the shotgun to kill him that one time, the only thing I had left to fight his second form, the gargoyle or whatever the hell it was.
That wasn't even his final form.
It was for me.
He died after the second.
No, that never mind.
Now he has achieved his final form.
But it was his final form.
Got it, I get you.
All I had left was that crossbow that you get when you're fighting Ming Zhao.
I didn't even pick that thing up. It was like inventory full. I was like, no.
But here's the thing. I still don't understand how you beat that gargoyle thing.
So you have to turn on the lights.
Yeah.
He broke the lights.
Yes, you only get 2 lights, but they knock him down onto the ground, which was great for me because even with God mode on, the little fuckers that are attacking you, there's two mobs that keep respawning. You can kill them, but they just keep respawning.
Annoying. Those things were the worst.
In the very final battle, the sheriff is now flying around, and there's 2 big spotlights. You turn him on, and he falls down onto his back and is like holding his eyes like a dead cockroach with wings for like 30 seconds. So you can just wail on him while he's doing that. But even with God mode on, those 2 mobs kept knocking me over, and I couldn't get to him.
Right, but what I mean is, so I tried it without God mode at first, and I figured it out, like you turn the lights on or whatever, and why are you looking at me like that?
You could only crossbow him at the very end because the lights were broken. Oh, that's terrible.
But just let me finish what I'm saying.
Sorry.
So, like, even though I had those lights on, he got down, I hit him with my hammer a bunch of times, but then after the lights broke, like, what the hell are you supposed to do?
You're just supposed to shoot him.
Really?
That's what I did.
That's what I did.
And it's like I would get him breaking them if there were more, if there were like 8. But there's only 2, so I turned them both on. He hits one, and then when he gets up, the first thing he does is break it, and then he breaks the other one. And that's I literally thought the same thing. I was like, without God mode on, 1 light to learn this mechanic, and the whole time early in that fight, I'm fighting the mobs. I'm trying to kill him so I can focus on him, not realizing they're going to keep respawning. And there was that like every minute or so that would put a police officer in the back, which he would kill and throw at you. But if you got there first, you could drink him. I think they were trying to give you some blood.
That's what I did.
And like I got there and drank him. I was like, cool. And then he threw me across the map. I was like, all right. But they should have put more lights there, I feel like, because it by the time you learn the mechanic, at least by the time I learned it, he had broken both lights.
Yeah,
and I was
exactly.
Like, and I hadn't killed him. Yeah.
So Jay didn't use God mode. How the fuck did you kill this guy?
I just shot him.
Yeah, he's not an idiot.
What do you mean you just shot him? Like you just walked out there and how did you kill him? How'd you do it?
So I put the lights on. First off, to get rid of the little 2 fuckers quickly, I had the flamethrower. That got rid of them quickly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then I was able to
sucked.
just
not
Desert Eagle him to death. So
just straight up shot him with the pistol a bunch of times when he was
So
flying
he
around?
did this thing where he would like slow you down. I guess he would like screech and slow you down.
Yeah.
And that would like disorient you. And but all I had to do was I had this thing called Blood Shield, so that lessened the damage I was taking. So it was basically just
it's like a bubble,
just withstanding enough damage until I could bring him down.
That's craziness, man. I even if I had my bullets for my guns, I still didn't see a way I would have done it.
I had run out of flamethrower ammo because I kept just using the flamethrowers on the cops, but you never had enough ammo. You only got 3 full reloads, and even then the game would say, "Oh, your ammo is full." Then you'd reload and could buy another mag. But yeah, I'd run out. All I had left, I ended up killing him with the deagle. Granted, this was the God mode on, and I was trying to play it like if I wouldn't have been staying still, and you couldn't aim because they kept punching you in the face. So I ended up strafing around the whole time and just deagling them. But when you slow you down,
I was basically just running around.
And that's
the entire thing,
so with the blood shield, did it like the two mobs were still attacking you?
They were still attacking me. They just didn't do enough damage until I just like flamethrowed them. And
was it knocking your crosshairs out of whack when they'd hit you, or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to just keep running, but like I had full like firearm.
Yeah.
So like I was, even when I was moving, I was still putting damage and shots on on them.
So while we're still talking about that, though, the endings. So there was a bunch of different endings you could have gotten, depending on. I don't know if it had to do very much with the decisions you made during the game.
I would say none. I mean, maybe it did, but I didn't.
I think so. I think it most definitely did.
Well, I know, because I watched almost all the endings on YouTube afterwards because I wanted to see the ones that I didn't get, and I know that there at least took it into account on some of the endings because.
I guess that makes sense because what happens with Jeanette takes into account every conversation you've had with both of them, Jeanette and her sister.
Right,
so,
and that's what I'm saying. Since it was an unfinished game, I don't know if that was because obviously you guys can tell it ended kind of abruptly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was ready for it to end at that point. Like it was enough.
Right. So what ending did you guys get?
I did the Anarchs. I had read a synopsis online because when I decided I wasn't going to finish the game before I found out about God mode, I was like, I'm just going to read a synopsis and I'll do a ton of research. And then I found out about the console commands because it's built in the Source engine or the Steam engine.
It was built in the Source engine.
And so I put on God mode and went to finish it. And I chose, in the synopsis I read, you don't blow up. In the patch, you do. Because I was reading the synopsis apparently from the original game. And so I chose Anarchs and then said, like, yeah, let's open it. And didn't realize that with the patch, if you open it, you die. So I chose Anarchs, then blew the whole top of the building up. It zoomed out, and Jack was sitting with the mummy, giggling and looking at the top of the building as who walks up to him?
It's the cab driver.
Yeah, the cab driver walks up to him. Yeah.
So you chose Anarchs, you opened it, you died.
Yeah.
Jay?
Wow, okay, that's cool. Yeah, so I chose the Camarilla, but I still killed Ming Zhao, and which I kind of wish there was. It seemed like there was supposed to be a plot where you could choose to be on her side, but they really didn't give you the option to.
There is.
Well then.
There was an ending that I don't see how you could have done it because I didn't see the option either. But one of the endings I saw was you go in there with Ming Zhao and some of her cronies, you basically stake LaCroix. They kill him right there. They cut his head off, and then y'all open up the thing together. And she was like, "You do the honors. You helped me out," and then y'all blow up.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
There you go.
So what I did was I basically mounted a coup. And I went to my clan's elder or whatever.
The guy in LA, right?
And I was like, "Hey, LaCroix betrayed the Masquerade. Let's take over, kill him, whatever." And then blah blah blah. I just decided not to open it. I was like, so I don't know if you guys noticed. If you go back to your safe house, you get a set of emails that are like chess piece moves and whatnot. And the very last email you get says, "Do not open it." Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, I ain't opening it. So, and then he was like, and even my head guy was like, there's some powers that are not to be messed with. Let's just put it away. And then they do legit the Indiana Jones ending where they're putting in that warehouse. They put the boxes and the zoom in, literally the speech, the taco
Warehouse 13, and then the show Warehouse 13 starts.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So and then that's how it just ended.
So now I wonder then, because that guy's name is Strauss, the elder.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was only available to Tremere, because when I was in downtown,
I didn't have the option to.
I went to go talk to him, and I did.
Because you and I weren't his clan, he was. So I think
right,
that's
but I was able to go through an entire conversation with the guy and do all that. Did you? So, I assume you did have the same conversation, and I'm guessing that you had different conversations with him.
Yeah,
because you were Tremere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
But the thing that is weird, and maybe this is because it was unfinished, I didn't find any Ventrue specific quests. I don't know if you found any.
No, there were. That's one thing. When I was in that house, I was thinking this is for the Magic Clan, and I thought, maybe that's where you learn some of your spells because there was a library. Were there more than 2 rooms in the house for you?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I spent a long time not realizing the corridors were magic, running around trying to. Okay, yeah. The corridors in this house are magic and only let you go in the library or where the main guy is. Did you talk to knowing there was something bad happening? So he said the same thing or similar, don't open it. We don't need to know. It'll be bad. Just don't open it. What's the clan that's crazy?
Malkavians.
The Malkavians are crazy and prophetic. There's a Malkavian Thin Blood on the beach.
Yeah,
the crazy woman on the
yeah.
beach. If you talk to her, one of the things she repeatedly says is, if you find your goal, you will die. And so if you open the sarcophagus, you die. But she kept saying that, like, if you find what you're looking for, you'll die. You need to turn away. And like, it's like, well, obviously you can't stop. You could just stop playing the game right there and just call the game in Santa Monica, I guess. But
Man, that was great.
yeah, that was a good 2 hours of my life.
So when I did it, the build-up is when you're driving with the cab driver who's all of a sudden your best friend.
Yeah, most narrative motherfucker alive
well,
when he's been taciturn the whole time.
Clearly was an Anarch operative of some sorts.
He made me think that he was Kane for some reason, or at least one of the whatever the hell, they think that's in the casket. Yeah, an antediluvian.
Oh, true.
But I don't think so, because he was just hanging out with Jack at the end. But
I feel like him and Jack were both unaligned. Like Anarchs via the fact that they didn't want to be aligned, but weren't directly aligned with the Anarchs.
What?
I feel like the cab driver and Jack were both unaligned. Like, they happened to hang around Anarchs because Anarchs were the only ones that put a political mantra on them, but they weren't necessarily part of the Anarch cause.
Yeah.
The fact that Jack disappears, he's not in the bar the minute you need advice, it's like, oh, because he's not, they're looking out for themselves. And that's one of the things Jack always said was, you got to do what you got to do. And whenever all the Anarchs, so I did the one, what's her name? The girl in the upstairs of the bar is like, be the mole in the Camarilla. So I did that. And then the Anarch in the friggin' skin-fitting shirt, that's the same tone as his skin. And who's the head of the Anarchs?
Nines Rodriguez.
Yeah. When Nines is gone and the other guy's pissed at you, I did what she said, which was like, become a mole. And Jack's like, you got to do what you got to do the whole time. He never had any qualms, and he didn't know you were being a mole for the Anarchs.
I mean, I just got to throw this out there, though. Isn't that what an Anarch is?
Yeah.
They want to break the system, and that's exactly what
but
he did.
This is what I'm saying. All the Anarchs had organized themselves to get rid of the anarchy, except for Jack. So he was the only true Anarch.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly why I didn't align myself with the Anarchs. I felt the same way, especially because Jack was the first person you talked to.
And Jack saved
and then
you
when I was having conversations with him, I was being coy of like who I was siding with, and he's like, "That's fine, man.
Yeah,
I get."
He's
like, he was like, "I get what you're doing and whatnot."
But
so.
he definitely gave a shit because he's the one that orchestrated basically the entire narrative of the game.
Oh yeah,
he was the one that was. So the big thing that I've read about in the research is for the World of Darkness, the universe that it's set in, it's less. So like D&D is very combat based and stuff like that. This game is more political in the sense that it's all about conversations and relationships between the factions and between the individuals. So it would make sense that the guy who ends up being not the villain but the major player who sets the entire thing in motion was playing a political game. He played everyone against each other, blow up the biggest players,
and
basically.
They say he and who's the guy who turns into a wolf?
Beckett?
Beckett, who's like the scholar of the vampires. Nobody disrespects him, but they basically like LaCroix, God, the flavored beverage man. I cannot get over that. I don't know. Every time he's like, LaCroix said this, I was like, hey, did he say pamplemousse?
I was going to say that.
But LaCroix even says, like, no one will screw with Jack. He says Beckett isn't aligned, but everyone respects him. And then when you ask him about Jack, he's like, he's supposedly a pirate, and he's like supposed to be one of the oldest ones out there, which would make sense that he is not looking out for the Camarilla, which sounded, this is based on nothing but my opinion of what I felt in the game, sounded like a newer development, and he's just there running his own game, but he's so old, it's just, you don't punch your grandfather in the face, never mind that he might need a punch to the face. I don't know. My grandfathers are dead, so that's on you guys.
Because you punched him in the face.
I have a very strong punch with that by an 87-year-old. No, but yeah, I really like that aspect that he is playing the game the whole time, just stating he's not, and he's old enough that he's able to stand apart from it. Nobody's going to try and force him into politics, but they respect him being around, and then the whole time he's playing everybody around him.
I gotta say, I didn't see the end like that coming.
Me neither.
At all. I
literally didn't see that ending because I didn't get that one.
I thought Kane was going to be in the sarcophagus. Kane or some...
Yeah, so did I.
Because the antediluvians were first gen, right? Kane's the original. They're second gen.
They're
third gen.
They're third
gen? Okay.
So Kane is the original. Second gen is everybody Kane bit, and the antediluvians are the ones after.
The antediluvians are supposed to be where the clan split.
Yeah, and Kane is supposed to be the first vampire based on one piece of scripture. We should probably cover that in this game about vampires. What's the piece of scripture?
I don't know.
He killed Abel and was cursed by God to consume his children, pursue and consume his children for all eternity.
Yeah. So the ending I got was when you're talking with the cab driver on the way to wherever he's taking you, you basically get a choice. Like, you can side with the Camarilla, you can side with the Anarchs, you can side with nobody. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just side with nobody. And then I got up there, and LaCroix was there, and I had the key, and I was like, all right, fine. Here's the key, man. Whatever. And then I leave, and then he opens it, and he sees the bombs are there, and he just starts laughing like a maniac. And the place explodes, and it just shows your character, like, walking away from the scene. So and a bunch of anarchs run up, and they're like, man, that was awesome. You should really join us. We can do a lot of cool stuff. And you're just like, nope, I'm out of here, y'all. And, like, you walk off into the distance, and that's the end.
That's cool.
So the ending, you survived, Jay.
Yeah.
Did it say, when the ending said, it said, like, goodbye vampire or good night vampire?
Yeah.
It says that for everybody, right? Like
it said something like, remember, the darkness is your friend, or,
yeah, and then,
you know.
but then it said
Mine
goodbye
didn't say
vampire.
that.
Like, I just remember
yeah.
the last words being goodbye vampire. It's like, goodbye, I'm in a million little pieces all over downtown LA. It wasn't a very good bye for me.
So I was surprised at how abrupt it was, and I guess I shouldn't have been. But just to throw it out there, so Troika was the studio that made this, like we talked about before. When they started making this game, they had, and I'm not sure if it stayed this way through the whole development, because they were in development for 4 years with this game.
Yeah.
But there was only 5 devs.
Because they lost their head, right?
They didn't have a production head.
For like a year.
For a year.
No, they had one, and they lost him, and they got another one.
For a year, they didn't have one.
Yeah, okay.
There was only 5 devs and only like 32 total staff. And like that's a pretty big scope of a game for them
especially
to be trying
for a game
to do.
That's like that, I won't say polished, but big.
There was a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, yeah.
Another problem that it had was when it was released at the same time as Halo 2, Half-Life 2, I think Metal Gear Solid 3.
Snake's Revenge, or was
yeah,
it? Yeah.
so but I mean,
Jesus, wow.
not the best Metal Gear Solid, but definitely still a hard, group to go up against. And the Source engine that it used was still in its infancy. They had Valve just made the Source engine.
It was in beta. It hadn't released yet when they were working on it. So that but there's so many sounds that not the sounds we just made, but there's so many sounds in the game that I remember from Counter-Strike Source, and not all of them, but like the a lot of the gun reloads are the exact same gun reloads as Counter-Strike. There's a few
Yeah, I can see that.
There's a few sounds that are straight out of Half-Life that like literally brought me back suddenly to high school, like playing Counter-Strike, and just like, oh right, I know this sound. Like,
Yeah, I don't remember if I really noticed any of the sounds were from Half-Life, but I did feel a familiarity, I guess, in the gunplay.
Mhm.
And I didn't have as many glitches, I guess, that you did, because I liked the gunplay. That was Jason opening a beer, good man.
I honestly, I think I downloaded, because I just Googled Vampire Bloodlines, the Masquerade fan patch.
You probably got the right one.
Maybe,
I
but
mean,
like all those gun glitches were so like it granted, almost every boss fight, and by almost I mean all of them, but like the ones I had God mode on for, I found a way to get the boss to glitch out. Like the vampire you have to kill in the hotel room, the woman. She's a caster.
I don't think I remember that.
Maybe whatever. I've killed a vampire in a hotel room. It's when you're fighting, tracking down all the infected, because all the homeless in LA have that disease, and the CDC's around. Once you track down all the infected, the CDC leaves.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. Did you not do that?
No, I did it. I just forgot about her.
Yeah, but so if you jumped up on the end table of her couch and hid behind the lamp, she glitched out and stood in the corner. So then I just shot her to death. The first Chinese vampire, not vampire, that you fight in Santa Monica, if you jump up on a box just right, he'll just run around you and never hit you. So I just shot him to death. I did that with almost every boss. Every boss I could. The one I really had to fight straight on was the first infected in the sewers of LA. Every other one...
As I feast on your flesh!
Yeah. I forgot what he says. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Jason had some trouble killing him, so I had to hear that line. Oh, I don't know, 15, 20 times.
I had to fight him about 6 times as well. He was a rough one, because he was the first one you couldn't... There was 6 pillars at a big empty area, and then like an amphitheater stage, and it's just a big rectangle with 6 pillars and him.
Well,
he was tough.
Most of the bosses had secret or like shifty ways that you could kill them.
Yeah.
In that room, after I had already killed him, which I had a little trouble too, there was these valves on the wall that you could turn, and it would open up a trap door in the water that you could escape that room from. You didn't even have to fight him.
So you could go back where you were, yeah. But you still have to kill him, or does he drown?
You could shoot him from outside.
Okay.
That being said, the big-ass werewolf towards the end of the game that you can't kill.
God.
Wait, I thought you could kill him, because the later text, granted, I had God mode on at that point, so I just sat there and watched him punch me in the face repeatedly, and I was like, let me go check out this observatory, and had him breaking doors around me, but I just ignored him for 3 minutes. After that, they're like, he killed a werewolf, and all the text. You can't kill him, like there's no special...
They were talking about 9s. They weren't talking about you.
Well,
Nine survived?
Well, Nines brings the
Yeah.
head. No, before I found Nines, because Nines has the head of the werewolf lying on the table next to him. Before I found him, somebody was introducing me as somebody who killed a fucking werewolf. And I was like, because you're meeting, it's when you're kind of being taken into the Anarchs for the first time by Velvet. No, Velvet's the stripper. Damsel. They said, oh, he killed a werewolf. I swear they did. Maybe not. So there's no way to kill him?
That's where I was going with that. There is, but first I would like to. I know you were in God mode, so never mind. Jay, how did you do that whole fight?
Oh, I just ran.
Excellent input. So I ran as well, but I didn't realize at first that you could go inside the observatory.
Yeah.
So I was just running around the woods, and I did that like 8 times. I was like, "This is fucking impossible. There's no way."
This thing is twice as fast as you and can leap.
I thought I was just missing something. I was like, maybe if I run into the fire, he'll catch fire because he's hairy. I don't know. And I finally realized you can go in the observatory, and I was think there's like the big telescope. You can go press the button up there, and it turns the cameras on or what have you.
You can also get halfway up the stairs, and it glitches, and the werewolf hits you, and you get stuck in the wall.
That's fun when that happens.
I did
Mine was glitched. I found that button, and it didn't do jack.
Yeah, I think that it just turns the cameras on. I don't know what it does, but what I ended up doing was I ran out to, I think you told me about it, where there's a room that has 2 doors.
Yeah.
And whenever you runs into one, you just run out the other.
Yeah, exactly.
I went in there at like 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and then I got all the way down to like 20 seconds, and he was still just walking around and he never came in. And I was like, oh, well, that was easy.
Yeah.
So then when it got down to 0, when it was down to like 10 seconds, I was like, I'll run over to the cable car now. But it doesn't, the cable car doesn't get there at 0.
No.
Which
the
is very
cable car gets there at like 3:30 just to F with you, yeah.
Very fucking misleading.
Yeah.
So I got there and I was like, well, the time is up. This is unfair. And then he killed me.
Yeah.
And then that same glitch didn't happen again the second time I went through. But then I was just running around outside, and I found another switch that was on a power station outside. So after I finished that and I finished that level, I did a little research into it, and you can kill him, but you have to time it perfectly. So you have to hit that power station outside, which turns the power on inside. Then you can hit the button that's up on the observatory, and it'll open the doors.
Yeah.
But then there was another button somewhere that can close the doors.
Yeah,
so
you close them on him.
If he's coming out, you close the doors on him, he'll die.
I saw the button. Now, granted, I had God mode on. I was like, I'll go check out this button because there's clearly something here you can do. I got halfway up the stairs and he punched me, broke the bottom half of the stairs, and I was like up against the wall with 1 foot off the stairs and 1 foot off the stairs and could not move. I had to reload the save and go through my previous save was like an hour back. But he broke the stairs under me and I was just stuck there. So the next time I just sat there and let him punch me in the face. But it looked like there was some way to kill him, but I thought the exact same thing.
Wow, that sucks.
Because I ran to the car, and I literally was going through the door to where the cable car is at like 10 seconds past the 3-minute timer. There's a 3-minute timer to when your cable car or your escape comes back. And I got there, and it wasn't there, and I was like, well, this would really piss off somebody who didn't have God mode on, and I got to really examine the face of the werewolf as it kills you slowly.
It really does.
Mm-hmm. So the Mercurio in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
He's an arms dealer that you have to, he's all bloody. You get him morphine in the beginning of the game. In Santa Monica, you can ask him about all these weapons, and I ask him about everything. He doesn't get any of them till the very end of the game, right? Like, there's no point earlier where you can get the guns from him.
I got them fairly early.
I got auto shotties, like, picked up off mobs, and I got all the guns. I never got any of them from him. All I had, when I went back, all he had was the Tech 9? Or was it a Mac 11? I don't even know, but...
I got them fairly early. I got them, I think, after Chinatown.
Yeah, I never bought any of my... I usually just found them off mobs as well.
Mm-hmm. I bought all of them. Maybe that's why I was broke at the end with no money for ammunition.
So that's part of the reason I didn't have any humanity. Every opportunity I had, it was like steal the charity donation box, and you guys like, I'll break in for you and you know, set a trap for the owner of the charity, but I won't steal the box. And I was like, I will. $700. And like by the end, I was like, yeah, I need full ammo again, and I still have $3,000 left. Yeah, we'll check out this new weapon you've got for me, but I never ran out of money.
I'm just sad he never got the tactical nuke.
Well, I mean, Mercurio says that. Like, tactical nuke, only a crazy person would want that. That's why they're all owned by those in Washington. It's like some commentary that...
Yeah, there was a lot of commentary in there, which was fun because it was old.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys get the Thrall?
Yes. Did you?
Yeah.
And did you change her to look like a goth? What is it? Big titty goth girlfriend?
It was wear something skimpy or wear something sexy, and she's in like lingerie, and then you like change your outfit. And I thought there'd be a bunch of options, so I literally ran in and out of the building like 18 times. And she just kept going between the one outfit and the lingerie. I was like, all right, we'll wear something gothic. Maybe I got to go through this way to find the other options. No, there's just 3 options. It just took me about 20 minutes to realize. Did she bring you the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. Like, it was like, comes back, I was like, oh shit, there's somebody in my apartment. Oh, right. she lives here. Master, I went to a bar and some guy tried to pick me up. I brought him home for you. And you're like, where is he? He's like, locked in the bathroom. And you open the door. He's like, let me out. And you're like, nah, bitch, I'm going to eat you.
Yeah, I freaked out. I was like, dude, you can't do this. What the hell's wrong with you?
Now I have to kill him.
I ended up just letting her free because she said she was like, somebody was following her.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? This is like, just go. I don't want you to quit school.
Yeah. Oh, no. I told her not to quit
Leave.
school, and then was like, hang on, go ahead and give me that money instead. Like, I needed the money.
I told her that she was mine forever and she couldn't leave, and she just had to listen to everything I said. And then at some point in the last mission, I came into a room.
Yeah, they kill her.
And she's just standing there, and they fucking kill her.
That's what I was gonna say. Is if you don't let her go, when you're fighting, it's the Chinese, right?
No, it's the Anarchs.
No,
I'm
the
sorry,
Anarchs
the other faction.
Camarilla?
Sabat?
The Sabat.
Yeah, there's a wolf-formed vampire. We should never quite explain that. Some werewolves can become wolves, but they're not werewolves.
No,
which are
they're
true stories tall.
werewolves.
It's wolf form. So the gang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're
okay.
vampires. Because that's
The Gangrel are one of the clans, and they can turn into wolves and bears and shit like that.
Is that who the research vampire, the one who's all about the?
No, he's a straight up werewolf. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so because
no, he's a vampire. Yeah.
He had the fangs, and in the game they keep on saying like, no, werewolves are terrible. They hate us. They
Yeah.
don't. You know.
But they mention him as a werewolf.
I never heard them mention him as a werewolf.
I'm pretty sure LaCroix says that he was.
I thought that he was the whole time, so I was looking for someone to confirm what he was.
Because he's
I
the
never heard
one
that.
you see when you're going to explore the corpse on the dock. Or
Yeah.
The what is that? Not a dock.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's a dock. Yeah. And he like jumps past you, and you're like, oh, there's a wolf in the corner. And I remember calling you like,
Pier.
There are werewolves in this fucking game. And you're like, yeah, there's all sorts of magic and shit. I was like, I just wanted a game where I got to shoot people as a vamp. Right. I realize what I'm saying now. Okay, I'll go keep playing with werewolves.
I don't know.
Like, there's ghosts, and speaking of. That poltergeist.
The mansion?
The mansion.
Oh,
that
so
thing scared
good.
the crap out
Dude,
of me.
Kelly loved that part too. I was like, there's ghosts. I can't play with my headphones in. She's like, and she's watching. She's like, the pictures, babe, the pictures. And the pictures are flying at me. And I was like, what's the ghost doing? That was so good. That was an amazing element of storyline. Like, that was so good.
Yeah, you can tell that was probably one of the first levels that they got into, and they were like, let's do this game
Yeah,
right, and
that was
made it really
awesome.
good.
That was sick.
Yeah, that scared the shit. That was a really good one.
It did. You find out the ghost's husband killed her with an axe.
Yeah,
and the kids, I believe.
And the kids, yeah.
Yeah, and they did the whole like, and
You find
Monty Python, the Holy Grail, when
Yeah,
you find
yeah.
the journal.
Yeah.
He's gonna kill me.
Why would you write
He's at the door. He's covered in blood.
She writes did you guys see that? So I caught that Monty Python reference actually because you guys were talking about it before I had started the game. I started the game way late. The whole thing about it was like kind of an allusion to The Shining.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
legit,
was really
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
And then
You go in the bar and there's the pictures and all that. It was really, really tight.
apparently I fixed the whole Jeanette and her sister thing on accident,
So
or
there's-
like not necessarily I did on accident, but because I was like all these games that I try to do, I do charisma and persuasion. And I figured that was just because I had high charisma and high persuasion, but apparently that's not
Yeah,
the case.
so I looked into it because I really wanted to save them, and I tried, and then when I say, like, give me the gun, like, one of them kills the other. But I looked into it, and from the moment you first initiate contact with them, you have to pick every single line,
Positive option.
like, dialogue option correctly. Not necessarily positive.
Agreeing with them, rather. But yeah.
No, not even.
No,
like,
that's what I'd read, was that you had to agree with them or tell them they were correct all the time.
I mean, that's not what I read, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? But anyways, you just had to pick the right options every single time, but you also had to have the right amount of charisma.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't have the right amount of charisma, it didn't matter what you picked.
Well, and so they did. I know that there's a difference between the patch and the original game. In the base game, it was still really difficult, and even if you chose all the right options, it apparently wouldn't happen all the time. And in the patch, they basically made it where if you choose all the right options and you pass the charisma check, they both survive.
But yeah, I didn't like realize that it was so like finicky on that skill check. I was like, all right, cool, yeah, they're fine.
Did it accidentally.
And if you don't do everything perfect and you try to save them both, it always kills Jeanette. This is what I saw. I tried it a bunch of different times.
Which one is Jeanette?
The one with the pigtails.
Yeah, they killed her.
Yeah.
I liked her.
Yeah,
I
liked it
reloaded
too,
the save. I went back. I had two saves.
Give me like a Harley Quinn vibe.
Yeah, it was Teresa save and Jeanette save, and I kept Jeanette because I played for like 20 minutes with Teresa, and she was just the same, like, I'll fucking kill you half the time, and Jeanette was at least, she was goddamn crazy, but she was at least not threatening to kill me all
Did
the
you
time.
bang her?
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
No,
Yeah. That was I didn't have any other reason other than my email to go back to Santa Monica. And every time I was there, I was like, well, the cab drops me off in front of the club, so.
Well, zzz.
Yep. I should have been drinking blood in that club. I didn't know you could drink blood in the club.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Nate. Did you notice who the voice actor for Jack was?
No, I thought about it because I recognized his voice, and I was like, you know what? Jason looks up voice actors, so he'll put my comment.
I don't have to look it up.
Who was
I
it?
already know, like, off the bat. That was Bender.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that was.
Right, yeah. Oh man,
I
what's
should have
his name?
just
I know
looked up his
name.
regular name.
Oh yeah.
John Ramaggio?
I don't remember.
Something like that.
John-
John DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio. Jumpin' Joe DiMaggio. Yeah, he beat up Marilyn Monroe and then had a great voice acting career after his baseball career.
All the way up to 2005.
yeah. He's still kicking. He's like James Earl Jones.
Yeah,
He's just not gonna
but
die.
there was also a lot of voice actors from KOTOR as well. And I think I didn't look this one up. I meant to. The Nosferatu that you find in that like that water main.
The Warrens.
Yeah.
Not in the Warrens. The other one. The one in Santa Monica.
Bertram.
I think that's the guy from Space Ghost Coast to Coast. The green guy.
He was 100% the first school.
Brack?
Brack. Yeah, I think that was
might be.
Brack. It
He was
sounded like him.
100%.
No, wait, no, not Brack.
No, not Brack. Yeah, the other guy. I can't remember his name.
The first ghoul you meet in Fallout 3 is 100% the same voice actor. I knew that because with both.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I don't remember the first ghoul's name. I don't know the voice actor's name, but it's 2 video games I've seen this man in where the first line you can say is, "Oh my fucking lord, what's the matter with your face?" And I said it, and he responded, and I was like, "Oh, I'm 2 for 2."
So that's an interesting thing too. I kind of want to replay this game at some point and be either Nosferatu or Malkavian.
Yeah.
Because Nosferatu, you have to basically sneak around in the sewers everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And with Malkavians, I've read that they created all different dialogue options for Malkavians, and everybody acts with you differently because you're batshit insane. And I'd love to see how that plays out.
Yeah, seriously.
And there might even be a different ending for Malkavian.
I would
would
hope
hope,
so. Yeah.
Wait, Malkavian's the crazy one, so I presume it's something like, crazy.
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
But so there's the kicker. With the game ending unfinished, sort of, I feel like, and with the fan patches, you would see a lot of positives, like with the Ghost Mansion, where that was so fucking good that you'd see, like, you saw, at least I felt kind of a drop off of those really intriguing, like, areas, like, because they're running out of time, they have to finish the game, and then the fan patch could come in nicely and fix that, so Malkavian would still be great, because otherwise I'd feel like you'd have Malkavian kind of act great up front and then drop off to just finish the story.
Well, see, that's the thing. I never finished this game without the patch, so I don't even know what was added and what wasn't. There's no way for me to know, like, that entire, maybe some of the endings were only from the patch, or maybe some of the boss fights were only in the patch. From what I understand, they added a lot of stuff in.
The ending I looked up when I decided to stop playing the game involved me surviving if I sided with the Anarchs and opened... Or no, if you side with the Anarchs, what happens is you kill the sheriff, and then Nines... At least what I read on Wikipedia was Nines and... on Wiki Fandom or whatever. Nines and you are there, and you're like, you can't open it, and for some reason you just leave. And it ends with LaCroix opening it and exploding, and you're not there to die.
Right.
So maybe that is an ending still in the game. I just didn't find it, because I killed LaCroix. Did you kill LaCroix? I forget what...
I didn't.
Yeah. I didn't kill LaCroix.
I believe I killed him, and then I opened it myself.
You can.
And LaCroix's not dead. He's in the corner like, ha, 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 and then you both explode. Only other piece I've got on this, the Mafia party, the Mafia vampire party.
Oh, the Giovannis.
Yeah, the Giovannis.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that not everybody was vampires there. In fact, there were very few. So,
They weren't?
Yeah, a lot of them
they were in like a contest to become a vampire. Like their inner circle of family was vampires, but the outer was not.
I completely missed that.
A lot of them were just mafiosos. I also didn't realize it wasn't a party of just mafiosos. I murdered my way from the sewer entrance to the front gate before I realized I'm just murdering partygoers. Like, I murdered people that were not involved.
Yeah,
There was a beautiful husband and his wife, and the husband answered his cell phone or whatever, looked away from the wife, and the wife got a sword through the heart. Then he got beaten down with a mountain. Like,
to be fair, I talked to those people, and the wife was drunk, and he was being very mean to her.
Okay, well, then he should have died and not her, because I fucking put a sword through her.
You can take their identity and sneak into the...
When I killed them is when I got the... like, here's my ticket. It's not related to the corpses that are literally 8 feet away from you, Mr. Guard. Let me in.
But yeah, and then you can also... There's side quests in there where you could help manipulate like who gets to be a vampire and whatnot, and you like can side with one of the family members.
Oh,
to
see,
conspire
I didn't realize
against
there was
the other
side
ones.
quests in there. I
Yeah,
just kind of
I
flew through that and went
Killed
to
my entire way. Yeah, that was pretty much the last full mission
So
I ran before I put on God
another
mode.
Monty Python reference.
I was thinking the game.
Sir Brian.
What?
When he goes, you've killed the best man.
I was thinking
Lancelot.
the game got really
Lancelot,
violent
yeah.
towards the end. It didn't get violent. I got violent towards the end. I was trying to end the game, so I was just murdering everyone, wasn't I? Whoops. When in doubt, murder it out. There goes all my commentary about how you couldn't talk your way through the end of the game.
Yeah, well. So, final thoughts. I thought it was great. I really, really liked it. I had played this game several times when I was a kid, but I played it wrong, and I didn't get very far, and it was, when I got to the scary hotel, it was scary, so I stopped. So I was glad I played it. This instantly became, like, one of my all-time favorites. I know I'm going to play it again, like, as another clan. That's like a 10 out of 10 for me. I really dug it, and who's to say how much of that was a patch, but thumbs up.
Yeah, I would give it a 9 out of 10 just because of the abrupt ending. I did feel like I definitely was wanting more, and I guess that's where like the books and everything else will come in. But I think what would benefit this game would be in the style of WoW, where you pick what clan you're in, and then it's basically just an MMORPG just set in this world, which I kind of hope that maybe the second one will be kind of like that, but was still obviously in the style of how this game was. But yeah, 9 out of 10, loved it, like start to finish. I was always excited to play it. So
I love the shit out of it. I'm gonna say that even with the fan-made patch, like I'm gonna go to like an 8 out of 10, not because of the game or the story or anything else. All that was amazing, but because of the bugs, specifically the gun bugs I experienced. It broke continuity when I'm like sneaking up behind somebody or fighting the vampire hunters. Like, needing my gun to fire was very fucking vital, and pointing my gun at a vampire hunter, firing twice, and the third bullet's going to kill him, and then I'm just sitting there, and it's not firing, was infuriating. And it did... I had to respect the whole character. I basically just started putting every point I had into melee so I could sword my way through into the game. But it was really enjoyable. I'm excited for the second one. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, that'll be
definitely excited for the second one.
It's coming out in 2020.
I do think we should go back and play Malkavian, just the three of us to talk about it, because I think that'll be
Yeah, that
fucking
would be
hilarious.
really
Well,
interesting,
Nosferatu, Malkavian, and like another clan or something.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good one. So next month we're going to be playing Railroad Tycoon 3. And the good news about that is it's available on Steam and Good Old Games. And don't get it from Good Old Games, because it was how expensive was it?
You need to get it from Good Old Games, not because we recommend it, but because they're paying us for the fact that on Good Old Games it costs near 3 times as much as Steam. Good Old Games is $6 for 2 Railroad Tycoon 2 Platinum and $10 for Railroad Tycoon 3, and Steam
$6 and $10.
And on Steam you can get both of them for $4 or something like that.
Right. So if you just want to get 3, it's like $1.75. If you want to get Railroad Tycoon 2, it's like $1.20. If you want to get 1, 2, and 3, it's like $4.
Yeah.
Also, we're not getting paid by Good Old Games, but if they want to...
Wait, we are?
We're not, but if they want to...
No, I mean, I am.
That'd be really cool for them. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. Listen up. So, Railroad Tycoon 3 next month. I don't remember what date it's going to be, but it'll be the last Friday of the month. So, we'll see you then. Goodbye.
Goodbye, and have a wonderful evening.
Bye.